According to the Oxford Dictionary, feminism is the advocacy of rights of all women. But feminism is not just important for women, it is important for every gender, sexuality, creed, and caste. It advocates that women are human beings that deserve the equal treatment that any man does. It is a common misconception that feminism is something that supports women only. But it is just that, a misconception. Feminism strives for the equality of sexes and not the superiority of women. Feminism tries to deconstruct the gender roles that have been embedded into our societies for hundreds of years and tries to deconstruct them, empowering people to live their lives freely without the fear of being discriminated. It advocates that women are as equal and as strong as men, but on the other hand, it also questions why men are considered the sole breadwinner of the family and why they are put under such immense pressure from such a young age. I think everyone here has heard about what is happening in Afghanistan today. The Taliban, when they were previously in power from 1996 to 2001, have restricted women from getting an education. They have restricted women from coming out of their homes and barred them from going out unless accompanied by a male companion. And they have denied them across many jobs. But now we can see that they are murdering and slaughtering women for not wearing a hijab. They are shooting young girls for going to school. And they are banning women from using public bathhouses in the northern parts of Afghanistan. Simply putting it, they are barring women from the rights they hold as human beings. But men are never seen as the victim of this never-ending war. They are only ever seen as the enemy or the threat that must be eliminated at all cost. But because of this, many innocent lives are being lost today. Young men and boys in Afghanistan are being tortured. Even though they are innocent, weapons and firearms are being drawn at them just because of what they are, men. I think this is the main problem the whole world is facing today. We see recognize gender as something how we should be, rather than recognizing it as how we are. Gender equality, predominantly in the past, has been a women's movement for women, but the impact it has on men has not yet been fully addressed. This has led to the destruction of many innocent lives. And the person who destroys that life, the only justification he or she can give is pointing a finger and saying that she was a woman or that he was a man. But throughout all of this, it doesn't mean that feminism hasn't had its positive impacts on society. Feminism is something or an idea that is being generated in the minds of people still. And some people are still coming to accept it, especially in countries like Sri Lanka. And no country can put up their hand and say that they have achieved full gender equality. But this does not mean that there have not been improvements since this idea was brought to life. For an instance, if we look back at history, we can see that feminism is the reason why women have the right to vote. This was no small feat. But women achieved this by uniting together. Men are allowed to be whoever and whatever they want to be because they are allowed to be themselves. It is not taboo or weird for men to cry because they are allowed to express themselves freely. The people in the LGBTQ plus marginalized society are allowed to live and love freely because of feminism. And we have seen in the earliest part of the 19th and the 18th century that being a part of this community was considered a crime. But now these people live freely without the fear of being called a criminal because of this concept. I think this is further proof to say that people have the ability to change their minds. I am a debater of our school, and feminism is one of the main topics we talk about, and it is one of my personal favorites to speak on. But before we got into debating, we didn't know what any of this meant. We didn't know what feminism was, what gender equality was, or we didn't know the basic human rights we held as women. But after reading on these things and after given the necessary time, we got to understand how important all these things are. What I'm trying to say is that given the necessary time and information, people can come to change their minds. Because without change, progress is impossible. A feminist is someone who understands the basic freedom and the equal rights both men and women possess. I am a feminist. All of us could be feminists. The key to understanding feminism is bringing a personal meaning to the word itself and recognizing that your rights are equal to the others and vice versa. And feminism is not about making women stronger. It is about changing the way the world perceives that strength. Thank you.